Aha, bonjour, Kenawia. Welcome back to Ojibwe Language Table with Wes Jourdain. We are on lesson number 9, dealing with Menomonie part 2, talking about the process. So as usual, we start with our self-introduction. Bonjour, Kenawia. Wes Jourdain, Indigenous Cause. Giddiga Benesi, Indigo. Magizi Indu Dame Masquagamiwi Zagai Gunning Indunjaba Ga Asnita Cogninda. Alright, so for lesson number 9, Menomonie part 2, talking about the process. We're going to go through the process we do when we go ricing. Okay, so Menomonie harvesting wild rice. We went through Menomonie the last time. For your memory there, referred to as the good berry. Menomonie here he's making or gathering, harvesting wild rice. So number 1 in our process, we have bean da kujige. Bean da kujige. Bean da kujige. Bean da kujige. And that is, she or he makes a tobacco offering. So first and foremost, we always want to make our offering, whether we're offering to the lake for harvesting rice, whether we're doing a lake ceremony, whether we're taking fish, whether we go out and hunt, gathering our medicines, we always want to make that tobacco offering. So Binda Kujige comes first in any of our process things that we do. So Binda Kujige, here he makes a tobacco offering. Some other vocabulary to go with Binda Kujige, we have a sema, tobacco, and a sema ke, here he offers tobacco. So Binda Kujige, you could have it. You could say Binda Kujige for he or she or he makes an offering. Or you can use a Sema Ke. Sema Ke, she or he offers tobacco. Either one, whatever your choice is, there's no wrong answer for that one. Okay, our next step in the process of wild ricing, we have Bawa. Ba, wa. And then we have our glottal, Bawa, Okay, Bawa, she or he knocks the wild rice. So in this file photo that I took, you have an individual knocking wild rice. You see in his hand, he's got knockers. They're in a boat, they're on a lake, or possibly a river. And some of the vocabulary that goes along with Bawa, we have Gman. Gman, canoe. Long time ago they used Wigwasi Gman. Wigwasi Gman is a birch bark canoe. Gman can also mean a boat. Okay, we also have Abwe. Abwe, and that's a paddle. And to make that plural, make that 2 paddles or more, abween. Abween. So abwe, singular, abween, plural. Gandakiagun. Gandakiagun. Push-pull. And you usually see that the person standing behind the knocker is the one with the push-pull that's guiding him through the lake, guiding him through the rice beds. Gandakiage. Gandakiage. A poller, or someone who pulls, or they're polling. Bawa iganak. Bawa iganak. Okay, is a knocker. Singular. Bawa iganakun. Bawa iganakun. Knockers. So bawa iganak. Singular. Bawa iganakun. Plural. Knockers. And last one, to command someone to knock it or harvest it, we say bawa un. Bawa un. Knock it or harvest it, in this case referring to wild rice. Alright, our third step in wild ricing, we have ba sige. Ba sige. Ba se ge. Ba sige. And that's the process of drawing something. She or he dries something. Ba sige. So in this case, they're out after they harvested their wild rice. They want to put it out and dry it before we get into any other process. And that's usually done so by either putting them out on tarps and just letting them dry in the natural setting. Ba sige, she or he dries something. So some other vocabulary that goes along with ba sige, we have ba sun. Ba sun, which is a command to dry it. Okay, the next step in our process of wild ricing, we have ga pizige. Ga pizige. Ga pe ze ge. Ga pizige. And ga pizige is the parching process of wild ricing. So ga pizige, she or he parches wild rice. And when we talk about parching, we're talking about roasting the kernels, the wild rice, the seed. We're trying to get the seed out, and it's put into the kettle little by little, and it's stirred over a fire, open fire. And what it does, it roasts, and it starts the process of getting that husk off of that seed or the rice. And so you see someone here with a paddle and a kettle, and then there's a fire. So some of the vocabulary we have for ga pizige, we have a kick. A kick. And that was the kettle you seen in that first photo. Again, we have a bwe. A bwe. And that's for the paddle that's used to stir the rice around. You know, a good person that has knowledge of, parching the rice knows when to take the rice out. They don't want to burn the kernels or burn the rice itself. So they always have knowledge of how long they stir and how hot the fire gets. So, all right, moving on, we have mimigoshkam. Mimigoshkam. Gosh come. Mimigoshkam. And we have here, she or he threshes or jigs something. So in this case, they are jigging wild rice. And I'm gonna go back here. So in here, they dig a pit in the ground. And what they do is they put their tarp or some type of leather cloth down over the pit. And after they're done parching, they'll put that rice down in this pit, and a person will put on some fresh moccasins, fresh clean moccasins, and they'll continue to dance around in this pit over that wild rice. And what that does is breaks that hull. I think another word you can call it is hulling. And it separates that hull from the seed of the rice. And so a lot of twisting, a lot of movement here, just to get those outer shell of the rice to separate from that. So another physical process here, going through threshing or jigging something mimigoshka. And some vocabulary we have moccasin, one shoe, moccasinon, shoes, plural, mimigoshkan, and that is the command to jig it. So the person that's jigging will start the process and start dancing out there, doing the twist. Maybe they're singing some songs to go along that. Maybe someone else is singing for them. Maybe there's no singing. Maybe it's just jigging, getting the process done. So our last step, I believe, we have nushkachige. Nushkachige. Nush ka che ge. Nushkachige. Okay, nushkachige is the process of winnowing the wild rice. So you see in this file folder here, we have someone who is winnowing, which means to they kind of flip the rice after it's taken out of the pit. Most of the husk part of it, the hulls or whatever they call it, is separated. And what this winnowing does is when you catch wind and you flip that rice in the air, those husks proceed to just blow away and clean your rice really good. So it's another physical process that we go through when we hand harvest wild rice, is to winnow the rice, nushkachige. And some other vocabulary to go along with nushkachige, we have Scotch Noggin. And that was a winnowing basket. Okay, so if we go back, that basket right there, Scotch Noggin, usually made out of wigwas, birch bark. So I'm pretty sure you can say wigwasi nushkachanagan, or just nushkachanagan can mean a winnowing basket. So Menomonie mushkimud. And that is a wild rice bag or a sack. We once we're done winnowing and our rice looks nice and clean, we'll put it in a wild rice bag or a sack to store it. Whether we store it over the winter, or maybe we use it as gifts, we give it away as gifts, or we sell it to or we trade it. Whatever the needs are for hand processed wild rice, we'll keep it in a Menomonie mushkimud, a wild rice bag or a sack. Okay, so just a review of what the processes we went through. We have Binda Kujige. He makes an offering of tobacco. Bawa he knocks the wild rice. Basage, he dries something, in this case wild rice. Number 4, pizige, he parches the wild rice. Mimigoshkam, he threshes or jigs something, in this case again wild rice. And our last process we have is nushkachige. He winnows the wild rice. Alright, miigwech bizindoyek, minawa, miigwech ki kanawaban the meg. Thank yous for listening, and thank yous for watching. Gigawabamin and Nimnagach. I will see yous later.